Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our morning edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Live Feed Spoilers. We are now entering day 17 of the game, and I wish we could say that gameplay-wise we're going to have the most exciting, dramatic week possible. I don't know if that's the case. We may just have to settle for drama being not related to the actual gameplay this week.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on.
There is a little bit of that. We have Nicole versus Janelle, and we don't really have to differentiate which Nicole we're talking about anymore because Nicole is gone.
Yep.
We'll also get into what the nominations are probably going to be. Big surprise, everyone.
Yeah.
It was almost like we were in pitch there for a second.
Well, it is frustrating, but it is what it is.
It is. Well, we're going to get into everything, so if you guys like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more, and if you do want to support us further, check those links to the store and also our Patreon. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined so far. Our first live chat is a week from Sunday.
So, Tyler's the HOH,
Yes.
and it looks like, no surprise, he's looking to put up Janelle and Kaser. And I mean, this does make sense for his game. I mean, last week we had Memphis. Memphis was told that Janelle and Kaser know who 4 of the Alliance members are. They were really worried. They wanted Memphis to take care of the situation. He didn't. Tyler's now HOH. He's taking care of the situation. It sucks because we all really enjoy Janelle and like Janelle, and I just like having 2 sides of the house so it doesn't get boring. But for Tyler's game, this is the right move.
It really is the sort of thing that just makes me want to go back in time and try to figure out a way like, okay, what if Tyler had worked with Janelle and Kaser? What would that have looked like? I'm in denial at the moment that this is still happening, so I'm trying to think of ways that it couldn't have happened.
And what would have been interesting is if Tyler had Janelle in that big, huge group, there'd be somebody else who's the underdog and we'd all be rooting for them.
A lot of this is the psychology of Big Brother in a lot of ways, where we always kind of get attached to people who are on the outside or battling the dominant alliance. And I mean, I'm not going to say this all the time for me because I was not a big Cody fan in 19, but I think one of the reasons Cody was so popular in 19 was because he was on the outside and he was going after Paul. This is just sort of a way that a lot of things inevitably sort of work, and you always want to see the cool kids get taken down by the misfits, by the people on the outside.
It's so crazy to talk about Janelle as a misfit. She's such a legend.
It really is, but
it's so weird.
It is really, really weird, and it's weird to sort of also think about someone like Nicole, who really kind of carries this personality of, oh, I'm just a misfit, I'm just, not great at the game, Nicole, and she is a part of the popular kids group.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Well, okay, let's get to the beginnings of a battle for the ages, or at least for the next 6 days if Janelle gets evicted.
Yeah, so after the show, there was an argument between Nicole and Janelle that didn't really feel like it had much to do with actual gameplay. They're bringing in stuff from outside the house. We already saw earlier this season that Janelle was talking about Dan and some stuff that Dan said, and there are things that are going on. There's the Amazing Race thing that Janelle wasn't even part of, but she's still pissed about.
It's it's one of these sort of things where there's a part of me that's like, can Janelle sort of let this stuff go? Sure, but at the same time, is Nicole not really doing that much to make it feel like Janelle should let any of this go? She's not. Nicole went and formed alliances with people who were on the other side of the house, and I think there's also suspicions that maybe Nicole was a part of some stuff pregame with some of these people, and I think Janelle kind of I felt like on Winners at War, it wasn't always consciously said, but I think some of those old school players felt like the game was unfair and that a lot of the new school players got together beforehand. I sense that same tension here.
Yeah, and it is unfair, but there is no way to really stop that when you've got social media and just email and whatever. It really sucks that stuff happens because It's like going into a World of Warcraft battle and somebody's created a whole bunch of bots in there and they all work together and then it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get killed.
I don't know anything about these creation of bots, but I get this World of Warcraft, one video game I do not play. I played it once. I got to like level 4. My character was named Narfmeister. Okay, well, anyway, so the Janelle and Nicole thing moving forward, I think it's still gonna kind of be a thing. I wish we actually got to see the fight on the feeds. It kind of happened before the feeds came on, but Janelle has been sort of like, okay, do I still want to keep going at Nicole because Nicole thinks she can stand up to me and Nicole's on some sort of high horse or whatever, but she also was sort of like, Nicole's probably going to keep playing the victim if I keep doing it, and I don't know if that's really going to be the best thing.
No, because that is part of Nicole's game, is to play the victim or to play poor me or to play, oh, I'm just not that good at this game even though I've won. I'm really not that good. And it works. It has worked now 3 times.
It's possible this may be due in part to have-nots because Janelle is now a have-not. I could easily see a situation where after she was named, there were some words spoken, but she, Cody, Bailey, and Enzo, they're the have-nots, and just based on kind of what I saw overnight with all of them just hanging out, I kind of wish that these 4 were an alliance because they were actually really, really fun together.
I'm kind of wondering, we've seen it a little bit over the years. It's not a lot, but all the have-nots are together in a room together and they're all sort of sharing the same punishment and going through it together. Can little bits be mended in there with Janelle? Probably not. Bailey, yes. I think that Bailey likes Janelle, and I think that'll help. Enzo, I think, is going to be in there just trying to get information. He's really an information guy. Cody's not moving.
Cody, let's have a talk here for a minute. Why do you choose such boring alliances to be a part of? Because you're fun when you're with these people. Why can't you be with these people? I know I'm just speaking to somebody who's never going to answer me, but it's like Cody has shown more personality, I feel like, with them than he has shown the majority of the game so far.
The boring alliances get far. That's just the way it is.
Well, okay. Well, we know that Janelle and Kaser are the likely nominations. They can't play in the safety suite, which does, by the way, make me think further about why the 2 of them played the safety suite together in the first week. But
yeah, Janelle was just, I get where she was coming from, that it was last second. She was like, oh man, I gotta, secure myself. What if Kaser doesn't win it at all and we both go home? It's better to just take both of our shots. But you brought up something interesting this morning about the fact that Memphis is going to be able to play. Will he put himself out there and give his +1 to Janelle? No, I don't think so. I think it's one thing for him to be the HOH and just decide not to nominate them, and it's a completely other thing to give somebody safety.
Is gonna be a problem if Memphis does this and Memphis decides to save one of them.
Unless it's revenge for Ian being taken off the table.
That would be kind of funny. I don't think they will care if it's revenge. I think they will probably go after him, like you said. It's not gonna happen, but we're all in denial. Let's have fun with the denial. Memphis, take one of them down. The other one can win veto, because that is the only way now that they're both going to be safe, is if something crazy like that happens.
Or some magical power comes into the game.
Which
style.
Which basically means that one of us tries to go close to the blot and starts yelling things from the backyard at this point.
Well, here's the thing, that where this whole Janelle is being kept until September thing comes into play. Because if this is just a lie, we'll know on Thursday if she goes home and she's just going home, that it was just a lie she told in the house. If she's actually kept, then I gotta kind of call shenanigans here. Like, why did Keisha and Nicole go home, but she's not going home? That's a little bit weird. That's like, oh, all of a sudden, week 3, we're gonna start something. If Janelle was week 4, it would be week 4. Like, it's, come on.
It is shenanigans. We can all both agree that if Janelle is not sent home this week, from sequester, wherever else. It is total
Shenanigans.
And a lot of us would not care. Like,
I won't care at all.
This is the hypocritical nature of all of us as fans, where we say, oh, we don't want outside interference. Also, fans, let's vote on giving Janelle and Kaser a power.
Yeah, it's true.
It's all kind of inevitably where we are with stuff. But since we're kind of in the denial zone here for a moment, Nicole and Danny had this conversation overnight where they were sort of like, Tyler can't make it that far. Tyler is dangerous. He will win if he gets to the end of the game. Is it really the best move then for Tyler to get rid of Janelle or Kaser when they are bigger threats that he could hide behind?
Yes, this is the right move for Tyler. It's way too early. It's week 3. He still needs his numbers. If he gets rid of his own numbers, he is an idiot. He needs to keep them around for now. And I mean, yes, Danny and Nicole are right. Tyler is a threat. But you can deal with that later in the game when it's time to really deal with it. You can get rid of Kevin, get rid of Janelle, get rid of Kaser, and then deal with it.
There are a lot of scenarios that you could think about kind of actively here. I taking my personal preferences aside, yes, getting rid of Janelle or Kaser, you split up that duo, that makes a certain degree of sense. I would argue that there might be some value in having the remaining person stick around, but it doesn't sound like they're going to do that. It sounds like they're probably just going to remove the other person as soon as the first person leaves, unfortunately. There's also this weird fear that, well, it's actually not weird, that Nicole brought up, and that is this is probably the last week of the safety suite. Mm-hmm. They probably are going to do something else that maybe involves America's vote, maybe doesn't. We saw America's field trip last season, so there's always a chance of something new entering the table.
Yeah, and if that happens, Janelle's probably going to get whatever America's voting on. If it's a power that gives her some sort of help or whatever, and she's there, then that is something that would probably happen, because it almost always happens.
The funny thing is that these people don't seem to be realizing that Kaser will just get all of Janelle's votes if it is something like that. Granted, Kaser, I slightly worry about his ability to execute properly whatever America gives him.
He's going to have a hard time on his own.
I know, but it
would be the same with Janelle. It'd be a hard time on your own.
We can still all live. We're bringing back Unicorn Land from the preseason now.
Oh, here we go.
Where I just wanted to imagine that we were going to get every great player possible, that Dan was going to be on this season, that we were going to have, Dr. Will was going to be on this season.
And now we're here that Tyler is going to eliminate his own alliance.
Yeah, this is I know, it's not going to happen.
I'm pouring cold water on that. That's not going to happen. He's not doing that.
No. Speaking of alliances, are you guys ready for the 1,000th new alliance officially in Big Brother 22?
Yeah, and they're called For Something as well.
For Prime. It is, of course, this is Ian's name, but Ian, Cody, Danny, Nicole. It is basically another iteration of a similar alliance you have heard a million times before, except this time you're inserting Ian into it.
Yeah, and you're changing around. It's not Connect 4, whatever. It's another 4. Like, these guys need to get some new alliance names.
It's another what-if scenario here, because I think maybe Ian and Nicole would have worked together regardless this season because they're both winners or whatever, but it seems like they do have a relationship outside the game, and they're fairly close outside the game, so it does beg the question again, would things have been differently? Would Ian have been more malleable had he not known Nicole before the game? These are the questions we ask ourselves these seasons.
People need to stop bringing Cody into these alliances. Like, honestly, he is in almost every single alliance in this game.
Yeah.
He is really playing a dangerous game, because if people think that these alliances are real, and none of them really are, he's got his like sort of deal with Enzo that I think is pretty real. Like, outside of that, I'm not really sure who else is real, and he's gonna get himself to the end like Tyler did, and he's gonna have 20 final twos, and everyone's gonna be really mad at him.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing from overnight is that Tyler and Christmas sort of talked about Kevin being the possible replacement. Tyler hasn't told that to everyone, so it's another reminder. that, like you said, with Cody and Enzo, I think Christmas is Tyler's true final two based on what we've seen right now.
Yeah, and there's no shock with that either. Kevin is absolutely going to go. He's in trouble. So those three, one of them is going.
All right, everyone, just remember, even if we get the worst case scenario, there's still hope for this game moving forward. I will remain in Unicorn Land on that just because there's always a chance for things to change.
I'll be on the river, kind of coming towards Unicorn Land. I will not give up on the game.
You've got like that Minecraft rowboat that we built.
That's right.
Okay, and that's, yeah.
I'm on my way there. I'll hang out in the riverbank.
And, I do like Tyler. I want Tyler to make it fairly far. But what do you guys think could happen this week? Give me all of your Unicorn Land scenarios for this week. Or if you just don't like Janelle and Casey, you can talk about them going as well. But if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further. Check those links to the store, to our Patreon, and we will see you here next time.